Good evening. Welcome to the Volkswagen See Film Differently showing of Get Carter. I'm sorry I can't be there with you myself, but I'm afraid commitments down here in London preclude me from getting there. 40 years ago, and about 2 months I think, I was standing very close to where you are at Newcastle Racetrack. How I came to make this film in Newcastle may be of some interest to you. The book which it's based on and which I adapted for the screen is by Ted Lewis. It was called Jack's Return Home, and in the book he never actually placed where the story was, but I'd done my national service in the Navy and I'd been on a fishery protection ship, and I'd been all around the fishing ports of the British Isles, and I'd seen terrible poverty, and a lot of the locations that were in the book suggested that it should be in one of these places, and it was somewhere that I knew. So I had sailed into North Shields, which is next door, as you know, to Newcastle, and I thought it might be an interesting place to set the film. This time, however, of course, I wasn't sailing into North Shields. I was trying to reach it by land, and I came across Newcastle. And as soon as I saw Newcastle, I knew that that's where I wanted to make Get Carter. It has such a visual aspect, and it still has such a strong personality that Michael Caine may be the star of the film, but Newcastle undoubtedly is the co-star. I had the most wonderful time of my life shooting that film. It was very unusual in the fact that it was made so rapidly and happened so rapidly. I was sent the book in January 1970, and I was shooting in July of that same year, and the film was out in the cinemas at the beginning of the following year. I went to stay in Newcastle when I decided to shoot, and rearrange the script to accommodate all these amazing locations which I found there, including the car park, including the longest bar in the United Kingdom, or in Europe, I think, and the racetrack. The racetrack I shot fairly early in the shoot, and it was, when we got there in the morning, it was a miserable day, and like other sequences actually in the making of this film, I must have been blessed or something, the weather changed, and I was able to, although it was still overcast, but it stopped raining, and I was able to shoot some very important scenes, because two of the major characters are introduced in the scenes I shot in Newcastle. Anyway, the film, much to my astonishment, seems to have held up over 40 years and has still been played all the time. And indeed, I think a couple of weeks ago, The Guardian had this poll amongst all their critics as to the best films in the world, and I think it was voted number 7 as the best thriller ever made, which is a slight exaggeration, but I'm delighted, obviously, that it is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the film this evening, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to introduce it to you.